With the 2018 proxy season finally coming to a close, we think it's a good time for corporate directors and management teams to take a look at recent proxy voting results and engagement trends, from say on pay to board composition to ESG issues, all of which continue to be top of mind for investors. This quarter, we invited Pamela Marcogliese, a partner at Cleary Gottlieb, to share her thoughts and observations from the recent season, and also her thoughts about what's on the horizon. Here are the highlights. Can you kind of take a couple minutes and paint a picture for the corporate governance landscape today and how it's been shifting over the last couple of years?
Sure. I'd say that one of the biggest trends we've seen develop, and that seems like it's not going to end anytime soon, is really a focus on shareholders and engagement with shareholders. Shareholders are becoming increasingly vocal and very engaged with companies, and the range of issues on which they're focused is incredibly broad. So, for example, we all know that over the last couple of years, environmental and social proposals have been gaining increasing prevalence, and they've even been passing at some companies, which was really a turning point in this landscape, because prior to some of those popular proposals passing, these proposals were really not getting any kind of majority support or even close to it. The other area of focus, of course, we know is on the issue of diversity and composition of the board. Shareholders have had a lot to say about those topics and have been very outspoken about wanting to see more diversity on company boards, and the issue is then moving into management, wanting to see diversity in the management ranks as well. Activism, of course, is continuing at a very strong pace. We've all been very aware of some of the high-profile proxy battles in recent months, and so I think that the bottom line for companies, for management and for boards, is really a focus on shareholder engagement, making sure that people are focused on it and making sure that they're doing it well and consistently so that they can be aware of any issues that may be brewing before they all come to a head.
It's absolutely clear that over the last couple of years, and this season in particular, it's gotten very different. So I think it's important for boards and management to stay focused and not think of the things from yesterday, and to take a fresh look at some things. Your deck had an interesting section on conducting what's called sunny day governance engagements. When it's raining, when you're in a storm, making changes and rethinking processes more holistically are a little bit more troublesome. So take us through what your point of view is on these sunny day governance.
Yeah, so what will happen is, if there's a storm, it tends to be too late in many ways. One is it's hard to control the narrative, because then there is somebody on the other side of the storm who's helping to create the storm, and so you've got a theory that you're trying to rebut, and so you don't have sort of a blank slate to work from. So it's too late from that perspective. It's also, in a way, too late because your main investors are getting lots of calls from lots of people, and it's a very busy, chaotic time, and so trying to get their attention can also be really difficult. So from that perspective, we and I think many others feel like the better course is to really engage on these issues when you're doing it on a sunny day, in the sense that you have time to actually think about the business, think about the strategy, think about many of the things we've been talking about over the last half hour, and trying to get a real good sense of where the company stands on those issues. And if there are things that the company can and should change, that it can do that. Once you get to a conflict, it's very hard to make any changes. There's just not enough time to do that. And then the other piece, of course, of it is the messaging with the shareholders, which is very key. And at that point, they have more time to engage because there aren't any issues. And then you're creating goodwill, you're creating relationships, you know who to talk to. And so when there is an issue that arises, then you have a line of communication that's open, and B, you have a track record. You've been engaging, and hopefully you've ferreted out any issues or concerns from the shareholders beforehand, and you know where they sit. And so you have a better way to assess kind of what your next move might be, because you have a good sense of where your shareholders stand on the issues that are being raised.